What if the very women who once stood as symbols of black pride felt forced to erase the very skin that made them iconic? From Oscar winners to music legends, these were the faces that defined beauty for a generation. Radiant, powerful, unapologetically brown. But then, almost overnight, something changed. Lighter skin, unfamiliar reflections, rumors of secret treatments, chemical burns, and identities quietly sacrificed behind closed doors. Were these transformations a choice or survival in a ruthless Hollywood machine? Tonight, we uncover the disturbing truth behind 11 black actresses who secretly bleached their skin. Stay with us until the end, because some of these stories will completely change how you see fame, beauty, and the price of belonging. If you're ready for the truth behind the spotlight, hit like, subscribe, and let's begin. LaToya Jackson, the night the mirror turned white. June 1992. Beverly Hilton Hotel. The chandeliers glittered like they always did when a Jackson walked in. But this time, the air didn't shimmer with excitement. It tightened. LaToya stepped onto the red carpet wearing confidence like couture, chin lifted, shoulders squared, yet the flash of cameras exposed something no designer could conceal. Her face looked startlingly pale beneath the lights. Smooth, glossy, almost porcelain. But her neck, her hands, remained the deep brown the world remembered. The contrast was merciless. By morning, headlines screamed louder than any applause she had ever received. Another Jackson changes skin color. Inside the most famous family in pop history, everyone carried a shadow. Michael had become myth. Janet, royalty. LaToya had always fought for her own space in the noise, her own peak. But now, the conversation wasn't about her music. It wasn't about her voice. It was about her skin. Some whispered vitiligo, the same autoimmune condition that altered Michael's appearance. But there were no medical confirmations. No public statements. Just silence. And in Hollywood, silence becomes confession. Rumors multiplied. Hydroquinone. Acid peels. Beverly Hills clinics with back doors and NDAs. A paparazzo claimed he once saw her leaving a building at night, face wrapped in gauze, sunglasses hiding what couldn't be photographed twice. The image allegedly disappeared, bought, buried, erased. But the damage wasn't. The black community, once protective, turned sharp. You sold your skin to survive, they said. You abandoned your pride. In chasing space beside giants, she was accused of abandoning herself. And perhaps the cruelest part wasn't the tabloids, it was the mirror. Because whether it was illness, makeup, or choice, LaToya now faced a reflection the world no longer trusted. Her albums faded into obscurity. Her scandals overshadowed her songs. Every appearance felt like proof of something she never publicly admitted. That night, after the red carpet noise dissolved into hotel room silence, LaToya stood alone under dim lighting. No cameras. No family dynasty. No headlines. Just her and the glass. The woman staring back looked polished, lighter, carefully composed. But behind her eyes lived a question no press conference could answer. Did I change, or did the world force me to? Because in Hollywood, survival often demands transformation. And sometimes the price isn't your talent, it's your reflection. Diana Ross. The day her daughter didn't recognize her. There was a time when Diana Ross didn't just walk into a room, she shifted history when she did. Detroit, 1960s. A young woman with luminous brown skin and a voice that cut through segregation-era ceilings like light through stained glass. With the Supremes, she redefined glamour. On film, she earned an Oscar nomination. She wasn't just successful, she was proof that black beauty could stand at the center of the world stage and never apologize. But Hollywood is a mirror that never stops adjusting its lighting. March 5, 1986. A Vogue cover dropped, and America stared. Diana's skin appeared softer, lighter, rosier, almost porcelain beneath studio perfection. Mainstream media called it elegant, pearly, radiant. But within the black community, the reaction was different. They didn't see elegance. They saw erosion. The woman who once embodied proud brown brilliance now looked like she had been sculpted to fit a narrower standard. And in the quiet spaces of her home, The shift echoed louder than any headline. One evening in the early 90s, her eldest daughter, Rhonda, sat flipping through an old photo album. Motown days. Afros. Brown skin glowing beneath stage lights. A younger Diana. Fierce, unapologetic, blazing. Rhonda paused. "Mom, who is this?" The question wasn't cruel. It was innocent, but it landed like a blade. Diana froze. The air changed. For a second, she wasn't a diva. Not an icon. Not a Vogue cover. Just a mother staring at the evidence of time and transformation. "That's me," she whispered, but even she heard the distance in her own voice. Because somewhere between studio lights and global fame, something had softened. Adjusted. Brightened. Whether it was makeup, lighting, treatments, or subtle choices over time, the woman in the album and the woman in the mirror no longer matched perfectly. And that fracture hurt more than public criticism ever could. Rhonda would later carve her own path, stepping away from the glare, building a quieter career, almost as if reclaiming something untouched. Their bond survived. Families do that. But the moment remained, a silent reminder that fame can reshape not only how the world sees you, but how your own children do. Diana continued performing, continued shining. The gowns got brighter, the lights more controlled, the image flawless. But sometimes, in the privacy of her dressing room, she saw two reflections. One, the pale, polished diva adored by Hollywood. The other, the brown-skinned young woman from Detroit who once sang like the world depended on it. And perhaps the deepest tragedy wasn't whether her skin changed. It was that somewhere along the way, she had to choose which version the world would accept. Halle Berry, the scar beneath the spotlight. In 2002, the world stood still when Halle Berry held that Oscar in her trembling hands. Tears streaming, voice breaking, history shifting. She became the first black woman to win Best Actress. Not just a victory for her, but for generations who had never seen themselves centered in that golden glow. Her skin, warm and radiant beneath the stage lights, wasn't just beautiful. It was symbolic. It meant something. But fame has a cruel way of rewriting what it once celebrated. By the mid-2000s, subtle comparisons began circulating. Old photos beside new ones. Message boards zooming in. She looks lighter. Is it the lighting? Is it makeup? The whispers moved faster than facts ever could. Then came 2007. A red carpet in New York. Flashbulbs exploded. And under the unforgiving glare, something looked different. Her face appeared noticeably pale. Her neck, deeper in tone. The contrast wasn't dramatic, but it was enough. Enough for headlines. Enough for speculation. Rumors ignited overnight. Luxury Beverly Hills spa. High-concentration hydroquinone. Aggressive lightning treatments banned in parts of Europe. Anonymous insiders describing stinging skin, chemical peels, burning sensations. One blog even claimed she had briefly sought medical treatment after a reaction. None of it was proven. But once a narrative forms, it doesn't need proof. It feeds on imagery. Photos were dissected. Reposted. Every faint shadow near her jawline became evidence. Every lighting difference became confirmation. And suddenly, the woman who had carried the pride of representation was being accused of trying to escape it. Imagine that weight. You break barriers for black women everywhere, only to be questioned about whether you're distancing yourself from the very identity that made your win historic. Behind the polished interviews and controlled smiles, there was another reality. The pressure to remain timeless in an industry that ages women brutally. The fear of sunspots, hyperpigmentation, harsh camera lenses capturing every detail in HD. The quiet panic that beauty in Hollywood has an expiration date, and darker skin is scrutinized more intensely under that clock. Whether the rumors were exaggerated, false, or rooted in cosmetic experimentation, one truth remained. The spotlight had shifted from her talent to her tone. And that shift cut deep. Because for Halle, the Oscar wasn't just gold. It was brown. And now, every flash of a camera felt like it was asking the same unspoken question. Did you change to stay? In Hollywood, the applause fades quickly. But scrutiny never does. And sometimes, the deepest scar isn't chemical. It's the doubt planted in the public eye, questioning whether survival requires transformation. Vivica A. Fox, the scar no camera was meant to see. In the late 90s, Vivica Fox didn't just act, she dominated screens. She was fire in Set It Off, fierce in Independence Day, unforgettable in Kill Bill. Her beauty wasn't fragile, it was bold. Deep brown skin glowing beneath red carpets, laughter loud, presence undeniable. She carried herself like a woman who had earned every spotlight she stood under. But Hollywood doesn't reward aging women. It audits them. By her early 40s, the roles began thinning. Younger faces, fresher names. And beneath every compliment was an unspoken warning: stay flawless. Stay marketable. Stay young. Vivica didn't hide that she tried cosmetic procedures, liposuction, enhancements. She even joked about it on talk shows, brushing it off with confidence. But behind closed doors, the pressure didn't feel funny. Around 2006, at the height of her post-Kill Bill visibility, she reportedly sought something more aggressive, not just anti-aging, but tone-perfecting. Even brighter, smoother. A chemical treatment designed to refresh and balance complexion. It wasn't supposed to leave a mark. But one evening in an Atlanta hotel room, when the bandages came off, the mirror told a different story. Her skin was red, blistered, angry. From cheekbone to chin, a raw streak traced downward like a crack in porcelain. The woman who once commanded action scenes now stared at something she couldn't fight. She broke down. Not because the world had seen it, but because she had. For months, no one noticed anything dramatic. She still appeared at events, still smiled, still posed, but backstage she would request softer lighting, yellow tones, diffused glow, anything to hide the uneven texture that makeup alone couldn't fully mask. The public saw fewer close-ups, but she saw everything. Every time she washed her face, every time she leaned toward the mirror, every time she remembered the sting, not just of chemicals, but of fear. Fear of fading. Fear of becoming past tense in an industry that devours women once they're no longer considered new. The irony? Her career survived. She kept working. Reality TV. Producing. Interviews. She remained recognizable. Relevant. But the wound wasn't professional. It was personal. Because once you alter something so central to your identity, something the world once praised you for, you can't unremember the moment you tried to change it. Vivica's tragedy wasn't public humiliation. It was private regret. A scar hidden beneath foundation. A memory hidden beneath poise. Hollywood teaches women that beauty is currency. But no one warns them what happens when the exchange leaves a mark that only they can see. Lark Voorhees, the girl who faded from the screen. In the early 90s, Lark Voorhees was America's teenage dream. As Lisa Turtle on Saved by the Bell, she was bright, stylish, quick-witted, a rare black teen character who wasn't sidelined or stereotyped. Her brown skin glowed beneath studio lights, her smile effortless, her presence magnetic. For a generation of young viewers, she was proof that you could be bold, beautiful, and completely yourself on mainstream television. But sitcom sunsets are quiet. When the show ended, the applause didn't follow her into adulthood. Roles slowed. Calls stopped. The industry that once adored her youthful sparkle had little patience for what came next. Then came social media. Years later, selfies surfaced online, and people gasped. Her skin appeared dramatically lighter, almost unrecognizable. Comment sections turned ruthless overnight. Side-by-side comparisons flooded forums. She bleached. What happened to her? That's not Lisa Turtle. Lark denied it publicly. But denial rarely competes with viral imagery. Behind those photos, behind the pixelated debates, there were whispers of something far more fragile. Friends described chemical smells lingering in her apartment. Harsh creams ordered from overseas. Gauze stained yellow and brown. A desperation not for fame, but for restoration. One summer afternoon in 2013, a close friend reportedly walked into a room heavy with chemical fumes. Lark sat in front of a mirror, her face coated in a thick white paste. Her hands trembled as she layered more onto already irritated skin. It wasn't glamour. It was unraveling. Later that night, her skin blistered. Red welts climbed her neck. Burning patches throbbed under dim light. She pulled the curtains shut and stayed inside for days, then weeks. When she did look in the mirror, she stared too long, as if punishing herself, searching for the girl the audience once loved. But fame doesn't come back for you. It only remembers who you were. The public reduced her to one word: bleaching. Not actress. Not pioneer. Not icon. Just speculation wrapped in gossip. Her earlier brilliance erased by the narrative of alteration. What made it tragic wasn't confirmation of what she did or didn't do. It was the loneliness. The silence of an apartment where applause once echoed in memory. The psychological weight of trying to reclaim youth in an industry that had already moved on. The cruel reality that sometimes, when the spotlight disappears, you begin turning the light on yourself too harshly. Lark Voorhees didn't just fade from television. She faded from the version of herself the world refused to let grow. And in the quiet aftermath, the mirror became both witness and judge, reflecting not just skin, but the cost of trying to remain visible in a world that had already stopped looking. Stacey Dash, when the applause turned into accusation. In 1995, Stacey Dash was untouchable. As Dion Davenport in Clueless, she wasn't just stylish, she was electric. Sharp-tongued, confident, effortlessly cool. In a cast that was overwhelmingly white, she stood out without trying. For many young black viewers, seeing her command that screen felt like a quiet victory. She was representation wrapped in couture. But Hollywood has a short memory and an even shorter tolerance for aging women. By the early 2000s, the roles slowed. The red carpets became less frequent. And when attention did return, it wasn't for a comeback performance. It was for her appearance. Photos began circulating online, old versus new. The difference wasn't dramatic at first, just subtle, softer, brighter. Comment sections sharpened instantly. She looks lighter. Is that makeup? Did she bleach? Then came August 27, 2012. Tampa, Florida. A political event. Television lights blazing hot and unforgiving. Stacey stepped into the frame, poised, composed, but the internet didn't see poise. It saw contrast. Her face appeared noticeably pale beneath the stage lighting, almost washed out. Within hours, screenshots flooded social media. The woman once praised for her glow was now dissected pixel by pixel. Rumors escalated. Laser treatments abroad. High-dose glutathione injections. Private trips to clinics in the Caribbean. Stories of peeling skin and weeks spent in darkened rooms to recover. None confirmed. But confirmation didn't matter anymore. The backlash wasn't just cosmetic. It became cultural, political, personal. Members of the black community accused her not only of altering her skin, but of betraying them entirely. Words like traitor attached themselves to her name with brutal permanence. And that was the real fracture. Because it's one thing to lose Hollywood's interest. It's another to lose your own community's trust. After Tampa, the offers thinned further. Interviews shifted in tone. Conversations about her legacy no longer centered on Clueless. They centered on that image. That pale glare under stage lights. That night, back in her hotel room, when the makeup came off and the cameras were gone, Stacey stood before the mirror alone. No headlines. No hashtags. No applause. Just a face caught between who she had been and who the world believed she had chosen to become. Whether the transformation was lighting, cosmetics, experimentation, or rumor, the outcome was the same. The narrative swallowed the woman. In Hollywood, reinvention is celebrated until it crosses an invisible line. And for Stacey Dash, that line wasn't drawn by directors or producers. It was drawn by perception. And once crossed, it didn't erase her skin. It erased her belonging. Lilkim, the night the mask melted. Before the surgeries, before the headlines, before the memes, there was Kimberly Jones, Brooklyn-born, fierce, unapologetic. In the mid-90s, Lil Kim exploded onto the scene like a warning shot. Petite but powerful. Brown skin glowing under stage lights. Lyrics sharp enough to cut through a male-dominated industry that never expected her to survive, let alone dominate. She wasn't just successful. She was revolutionary. But fame magnifies everything, especially insecurity. The criticism came fast and cruel. Too dark, too rough, too loud, too much. In an industry that quietly favored lighter skin and Eurocentric features, Kim absorbed every insult like acid. And slowly, the transformation began. First subtle, then undeniable. Lighter foundation, brighter concealer. Creams applied religiously, not just to her face, but to her neck, her hands. Friends later described how she carried lightening products everywhere, layering them thick before appearances. The stage wasn't just performance anymore. It was concealment. Then came June 14, 2010, Philadelphia. The lights were blinding that night. Thousands of watts beating down as she stepped onto the stage. The crowd roared until something shifted. Under the heat, makeup began to slide. Sweat carved pale streaks down her face. The contrast emerged, stark and unforgiving. A lighter mask melting against a darker neckline. No filters. No editing. Just reality exposed in real time. The arena didn't boo. It went quiet. Kim felt it before she saw it. The shift in energy. The awareness. The eyes. She ran backstage. Inside the dressing room mirror, the image was devastating. White powder streaked unevenly. Mascara bleeding. The battle between tones visible and undeniable. For a woman who built her empire on control, this was chaos. She collapsed into tears. Because it wasn't just about makeup. It was about the years of trying to reshape herself into something more acceptable, more marketable, more loved. The very lights that once crowned her now revealed everything she had tried to hide. After that night, the narrative hardened. Memes spread. Before and after collages circulated endlessly. The conversation no longer centered on her lyricism or legacy. It centered on her face. Lil Kim didn't just alter her appearance. She altered in response to a world that told her she wasn't enough as she was. And when the mask melted, what the audience saw wasn't scandal. It was pressure. Because sometimes the most painful transformation isn't surgical. It's psychological. And under the harshest lights, even queens can feel exposed, not for who they are, but for who they believed they needed to become. Beyoncé, the silver glow that burned. There are stars, and then there is Beyoncé. For decades, she has been the embodiment of control, precision, power. A woman whose brown skin glowed like molten gold beneath stadium lights. She wasn't just beautiful, she was intentional. Every note, every movement, every public appearance engineered to perfection. But even queens feel pressure when the crown gets heavier. Late 2023, the Renaissance premiere in Los Angeles. The theme was metallic, futuristic, silver, a concept built around light reflecting off steel and chrome. And Beyoncé, ever the architect of image, reportedly wanted more than just a dress to shimmer. She wanted to become the light. 2 days before the premiere, whispers say she entered a private Beverly Hills clinic for what insiders called an extreme brightening treatment, a full-body resurfacing process. A platinum peel, high-dose glutathione, vitamin infusions, exfoliation strong enough to strip layers of skin for an immediate luminous effect. The result? Blinding radiance. But perfection has a cost. During final fittings, stylists allegedly noticed something beneath the glow, raw red patches along her neck. Tender skin near her elbows. Areas sensitive, almost fragile, like freshly healed burns beneath a flawless exterior. There was no time to reverse it. December 1st, 2023. She stepped onto the carpet in a shimmering silver gown. Cameras flashed. LED lights hit her face, and the internet froze. Her complexion looked dramatically lighter, reflective, almost ghost-like under the glare. Social media exploded within minutes. Why is she so pale? Is it lighting? Did she bleach? What happened to her brown glow? The conversation overshadowed the fashion, the artistry, the premiere itself. But what the public didn't see was hours later, in a quiet hotel room, when the gown came off and the makeup was wiped away. Beneath the powder and highlight, her skin reportedly still throbbed. Sensitive, uneven in places, paying the price for spectacle. And that's the cruel paradox. Beyoncé has built an empire on celebrating black culture, black sound, black beauty, yet even she exists inside an industry that worships hyper-perfection, where brighter often photographs cleaner, where metallic themes reward lighter reflection. Was it bleaching? Was it aggressive cosmetic enhancement? Was it simply lighting and styling taken too far? The truth almost didn't matter, because the moment sparked a deeper question. How much must a woman polish herself to remain untouchable? For Beyoncé, the silver glow wasn't surrender. It was armor. But armor can still bruise the skin beneath it. And sometimes, even a queen who controls the narrative can't control how the light refracts once it hits her face. Perfection, after all, is a moving target. And in Hollywood, even royalty must constantly chase it, no matter how radiant they already are. Meagan Good, the burn no one was supposed to notice. Meagan Good had always carried a kind of effortless glow. From childhood roles to leading lady status, her beauty felt natural, warm brown skin, soft radiance, the kind of face cameras loved without begging for it. In Hollywood, that glow became part of her brand. Fresh, youthful, timeless. But time is relentless in an industry obsessed with stopping it. By 2014, Meagan was preparing for another major premiere. Red carpets meant HD cameras, zoom lenses, unforgiving flash photography that caught every pore, every uneven tone, every shadow under studio lighting. And somewhere between preparation and pressure, someone suggested something small. Just a peel. It'll brighten everything. It sounded harmless. Routine. Cosmetic maintenance in a town built on maintenance. High-strength glycolic acid was applied to her chest and neck, areas exposed by the deep-cut gowns she was known for wearing. At first, it tingled. That's normal, they said. Then it burned. Minutes stretched longer than they should have. The heat intensified. By the time the solution was neutralized, her skin was already reacting, blistering, raw, angry. The kind of reaction no publicist plans for. Bandages went on. Ice packs. Urgent instructions to avoid light. But canceling wasn't an option. 8 days later, she stepped onto a Los Angeles red carpet wearing a plunging dress designed to showcase elegance. Underneath the fabric, silicone pads were pressed against her chest to absorb fluid from healing burns. Makeup artists layered foundation carefully over pink, uneven patches. From a distance, she looked stunning. Up close, the flashes betrayed her. Photographers captured faint redness along her neckline. Blogs zoomed in. What happened to her skin? Is that irritation? Did she overdo something? She smiled through it, posed through it, every movement pulling slightly at tender flesh beneath the surface. But when the night ended and the gown was unzipped, the truth returned in full clarity. Blotched skin, peeling edges. A reminder that sometimes the pursuit of enhancement leaves scars instead. After that premiere, something subtle changed. Higher necklines, strategic styling, fewer plunging cuts. The audience saw evolution in fashion taste. They didn't see caution. They didn't see the memory of pain. The tragedy wasn't that Meagan Good tried to improve her appearance. It was that in a city where maintenance is normal, one miscalculation can permanently alter the way you feel inside your own skin. Because burns heal, but hesitation lingers. And once your confidence is interrupted by pain, you never step into the light quite the same way again. In Hollywood, beauty treatments are whispered about casually. But no one talks about the moment the mirror stops feeling safe. For Meagan, the peel was supposed to refresh her glow. Instead, it reminded her how fragile that glow could be. Serena Williams, the glow that nearly cost her grip. For over 2 decades, Serena Williams didn't just dominate tennis. She redefined power. Her body was strength sculpted by discipline. Her brown skin, radiant beneath stadium suns, became a symbol of endurance, pride, and unapologetic black excellence. Every Grand Slam trophy she lifted felt heavier than gold. It carried representation. She was invincible. Until whispers began to float in a very different arena. Early 2024. Palm Beach. In elite wellness circles, a luxury treatment gained quiet popularity, something called the glow pool. A private enzyme and glutathione immersion promising brighter, more luminous skin in just a few sessions. No harsh peels. No dramatic downtime. Just glow. At least, that was the promise. Serena's name surfaced among those rumored to have tried it. No public announcement. No endorsement. Just quiet curiosity, perhaps driven by the same pressure that follows every public woman, athlete or not. Remain polished, remain flawless, remain marketable even after retirement. According to insiders, she soaked for hours in a shimmering chemical blend designed to resurface and lighten. When she stepped out, her skin appeared brighter. But brighter isn't always better. Within days, irritation followed. Her fingers reportedly turned red and tender, almost as if mildly burned. Wrinkled. Sensitive. The very hands that once gripped rackets with unstoppable force now stung under simple movement. Then came the video. A short, harmless clip posted online. Serena at her daughter's school event. But viewers paused. Replayed. Her face looked unusually pale under natural daylight. Her hands appeared darker, slightly inflamed. The contrast ignited speculation instantly. What happened? Did she bleach? Is this from that treatment? The internet dissected her in seconds. And that's the cruelty of modern fame. Context never stands a chance against contrast. For Serena, the real pain wasn't online chatter. It was sitting quietly afterward, staring at her hands. The same hands that served aces at 120 miles per hour. The same hands that silenced crowds and critics. Now tender. Sensitive. A reminder that even experimentation in the name of beauty carries risk. Was it truly the glow pool? Was it lighting? A reaction? Cosmetic enhancement? No definitive confirmation ever surfaced. But the symbolism lingered. A woman who built her legacy on physical resilience found herself confronting fragility, not on the court, but in the mirror. Because the truth is, retirement doesn't end scrutiny. It simply shifts it. Serena conquered opponents who underestimated her power. But no champion is immune to the subtle voice that whispers, "Stay radiant. Stay relevant. Stay youthful." The tragedy wasn't that she chased glow. It was that even a legend who proved brown skin could dominate the world still felt the need to refine it. And when you've already reached the pinnacle of strength, even the smallest vulnerability feels seismic. Her titles remain untouched, but that brief flicker of contrast reminded the world, and perhaps herself, that greatness doesn't protect you from pressure. Not even when you've already won everything. Patti LaBelle, the gloves that hid the truth. Long before the rumors, before the whispers, before the close-ups, there was simply Patti. A voice that could shake rafters. A woman who stood on stage in the 1960s and 70s with nothing but soul and certainty. Brown skin glowing beneath hot stage lights, hands gripping the microphone like it was an extension of her spirit. She didn't just sing, she testified. Patti LaBelle never needed to chase the spotlight. It chased her. But by the late 1990s, something shifted. The industry leaned younger, lighter. New faces, new marketing, new definitions of fresh. Whitney, Tony, radiant under high-definition lenses that were far less forgiving than the ones Patti grew up with. At 50, even legends feel the tremor of comparison. Someone suggested a light peel, nothing dramatic, just evening the tone. A subtle refresh. A way to soften age spots on her hands. The hands the audience always saw when she lifted a note to the heavens. It sounded harmless. It wasn't. The acid didn't settle evenly. It bit in patches. Light and dark mottling spread across her fingers and knuckles. When she looked down, the hands that once commanded stages now looked fractured, like porcelain left too long in fire. The damage wasn't catastrophic, but it was visible. May 22, 1998. Live television in New York. A red gown. White-hot studio lights. Patti stepped into position, heart steady, voice unstoppable. She sang like she always had, power surging, emotion spilling. Then the camera zoomed in. The microphone lifted. Her hand, mottled, uneven, filled the frame for a fraction too long. No one gasped. No one said a word. But she felt it. Backstage, she was furious. Not at her team. Not at the lighting. At herself. From that night forward, satin gloves became part of her image. Elegant, regal, iconic. The public admired the style choice. Called it classy, timeless. They didn't know it was armor. Every glove she slipped on concealed more than discoloration. It concealed regret. The quiet surrender to an industry that had convinced even a soul legend that she needed refinement. The irony? Her voice never weakened. The power never faded. The applause never stopped. Yet she covered her hands as if hiding evidence of something shameful. And that is the cruelest thread tying all these stories together. Not confirmation of bleaching. Not proof of chemicals. Not even the physical scars. It's the pressure. The whisper that tells powerful women their natural selves are almost enough, but not quite. Patti LaBelle didn't lose her greatness. But she did learn that even icons can doubt the skin they once wore proudly. And beneath those satin gloves, every note she sang carried a quiet truth. Hollywood may worship talent, but it never stops negotiating beauty. 11 women. 11 different journeys. One haunting question. In a world that profits from beauty but punishes authenticity, how many layers of yourself must you peel away just to survive? Maybe this story was never just about skin. Maybe it was about pressure, about perception, about an industry that quietly teaches even the strongest women to doubt the very features that made them powerful. So before you judge the reflection, ask what the mirror demanded first. If this story made you think, or see fame differently, comment your thoughts below. Like this video, subscribe, and stay with us as we continue uncovering the truths hiding behind the spotlight.